Toby the Persistent Pup, Treat Overload, written by Wendy Samuel. As the sun signaled a new day, Toby the Beagle wriggled out of bed. He stretched out his paws, shook his floppy ears, and stuck his nose up in the air to sniff the fresh morning. Toby trotted to the kitchen door and scratched at it, waiting for his person, Rosie, to let him out into the backyard. Toby loved to spend each morning outside. Sometimes he would play with his orange ball. Other times he would dig in the mud. But Toby's favorite thing to do outside was to sniff out all the wonderful scents around him. Toby became impatient, waiting for Rosie to let him out. So he jumped up at the door and gave a hearty howl. "Arroo! Be patient," chuckled Rosie as she opened the door. "You go ahead and play while I get some work done. I will call you in for lunch." Arroo! Toby bounded out the door, his ears flying in the wind as he was greeted by a flood of outdoor aromas. Toby followed his nose as it led him straight to his orange ball. It had rolled into the muddy hole he dug yesterday. Toby began to play. He rolled his ball into the muddy hole and then dug around in the mud to get it back out. He did this over and over again, enjoying the warmth of the sun. Suddenly, Toby stopped. There was a new smell in the air. Toby sniffed to the right. There he could smell the lavender growing in Rosie's flower garden. Toby sniffed to the left. There he could smell the oregano growing in Rosie's herb garden. Toby sniffed behind him. He could definitely smell the garbage truck making its way around the neighborhood to pick up the day's trash. Finally, Toby sniffed in front of him. He sniffed once. He sniffed twice. Then he sniffed a third time, just to make sure he was right. And boy, was he right. Coming from the house, Toby could smell freshly baked Beagle Bites, his all-time favorite treat. Just then, Rosie poked her head out the door. "I'm just going out front to get the garbage pails, and then I will finish lunch. Toby, you wait right here, okay?" Toby stood still as he listened for Rosie's footsteps to fade and for the front door to open and close. Step, 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 creak, click. Off Toby went, tripping over his floppy ears as he sprinted towards the back door. His mouth watered as he nudged the door open and headed into the kitchen. Now, beagles are not tall, and Toby could not see over the kitchen counters to find where Rosie put the Beagle Bites. But where Toby could not see, he could smell. So Toby put his nose into the air and sniffed. He sniffed near the fridge. No Beagle Bites. He sniffed by the stove. No Beagle Bites. Then he sniffed beside the kitchen sink right under the window. Yes, Beagle Bites. Toby jumped up towards the counter. He could not reach the Beagle Bites, but Toby was determined, so he jumped again. Almost, but not quite enough. Toby jumped a third time. This time, his paw flipped the tray holding the Beagle Bites onto the floor. Crash! Beagle Bites spread across the kitchen floor. Toby was so excited, he gave out a big "Arroo!" and then ate a Beagle Bite. They were so good, he could not stop at one. Toby ate another, "Arroo!" and another, "Arroo!" and another, "Arroo!" Toby used his nose to sniff out every last Beagle Bite. Toby swallowed the last Beagle Bite and lifted his head to give one last final howl, but it sounded different than his happy howl. Oh! Toby did not feel excited anymore. He felt uncomfortable, with a tummy too full of treats. Toby lay down on the cold, hard floor and gave out another sad howl. Oh! Just then, Rosie entered the kitchen. Toby looked at Rosie, but didn't move. He gave out a whimper as his tummy started to grumble. Rosie sat on the floor and gently stroked his fur. Oh, Toby, it is possible to have too much of a good thing. Even beagle bites, Rosie chided. Toby licked Rosie's hand and leaned into her for comfort. Rosie brought Toby some water to drink and led him to his bed for a nap. He snuggled down and slept for a long time. When Toby woke up, he slowly wriggled out of bed and made his way to the kitchen looking for Rosie. Rosie had just picked some fresh vegetables from her garden. Well, 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 Toby, how are you feeling? Asked Rosie. Toby lifted his nose in the air, sniffed, and huffed. He could smell carrots and orange peppers, his favorite vegetables. Toby, would you like a treat? Well, maybe just a little. Arr-woo! About the author. My name is Wendy Samuel, and I have been teaching junior kindergarten since the 2012-2013 school year. My husband Joel and I are pastors at Open Arms Community Church in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We have 3 wonderful children and a beagle named Toby. If you visit me in my class, you will probably hear me sing, watch me dance, see me play ukulele, or a combination of the 3. About the dog. My name is Toby and I love to eat. In fact, love eating so much, I'll eat anything, even if it makes me sick. My favorite things to eat are carrots, peppers, eggs, and French fries. I love sleeping on my mom's lap, Wendy, snuggled under a blanket. Look out for upcoming titles. Toby the Persistent Pup Learns to Share, Takes a Bath, Far From Home, and The House Guest. Pictures and story generated by deepai.org.